want to talk about the camera I love that didn't love me back. The Kowa Super 66. Kowa released the Kowa 6 line in 1963 with the Kowa 6. This was a new medium format 6x6 SLR made by the Kowa Optical Company, who had a history of making scopes and eyeglass. It started with the Kowa 6, the first one, which had interchangeable finders and lenses, and that was it. It had no mirror lockup and no multi-exposure. Then, shortly after, came the Kowa 6mm. While still not having the interchangeable backs, it added multi-exposure and mirror lockup, while still retaining the glass from the previous generation. Then after that, in 1973, became a slight gray area with the Kowa 6-2, which got rid of the mirror lockup, but introduced the interchangeable backs. This was renamed a year later, in 1974, to the Kowa Super 66, which is the same camera, but unlike the Kowa 6-2, it was only in black, while the Kowa 6-2 came in chrome as well. The Kowa 6 originally was marketed as a mid-cost SLR and was priced similarly to the Bronica. This original Kowa 6 had significant savings over a camera like the Hasselblad 500. See, now, Kowa marketed this camera as a camera that could do it all. With the speed of a smaller 35 SLR, with all the components of a medium format SLR that made them superior. Now, the most important part about a camera for many people is the glass, and Kowa still has you covered there. See, the Kowa 6 had 10 lenses available in the system, and all of them had little to no distortion in them, giving you excellent optical quality across the entire range. I personally own 3 of them. The standard 85 f2.8, which is an excellent super sharp lens with no visible distortion that equates to about a 50mm on full frame. I then have the 55mm f3.5, another excellent lens with no visible distortion, including barrel distortion, even though it equates to around a 24 to 28 on full frame. And that extends further to the next lens and the final lens I have, which is the 150 f3.5. An excellent portrait type lens, even though I don't do portraits. It's a focal length I like, and the 80mm area. Again, no distortion, excellent optical quality, and amazing center sharpness. This system is large, featuring extension tubes, prisms, left-hand grips, flash accessories, and more. Even filters made by Kowa Optical Company. And the system for this is huge, with every accessory you might need. It truly fit all the qualms of the previous generations. But one reason, with all the interchangeability and all of the components to make a kit, might have been the price. At $650, it didn't really leave any benefits to buy this over the hasselblad. Its original talking point of its mid-price point was not there anymore. It was now a relatively expensive system for people to get into. So why do I think this camera system failed? The Kowa Super 66 at this point being the best and having what it lacked, interchangeable film packs, didn't matter when it cost $200 less than a Hasselblad, which all the professionals were using at the time, and was by far the most popular camera. It just didn't hit the market that it wanted to reach, and it ditched its mid-price point to do that. I recently took this camera on vacation, and I shot a couple rolls of gold through it. I also have a roll of Catlab's 320X that I shot through it, so I'm going to sprinkle in those results here. quality is excellent. I brought both the 85 and the 55 with me, and I can't see the distortion. It lends credibility to me to say that this glass is superb, and is nothing quite like anything else I've used, from a Rolleiflex 3.5T to my Bronica S2A. This glass is excellent and is the favorite I've used. Handling is pretty standard, except for the fact that it's tall. Most SLRs are brick laid long ways, like if you put a TLR lens side down. But this one is very similar in form factor to a TLR. It's a bit bigger, and obviously it has the SLR lens on the front with a helicoid. But I like tall cameras. I think the way that it handles is perfect. I think this being tall lets you just cradle it, like kind of like this. And it lends to handling excellent and being an amazing camera to shoot with. That, with the very bright focusing screen, makes it super easy to find focus even when indoors or in the forest. Everything about it is so amazing to use. From the waist level, with the magnifier in it. The magnifier blocks out pretty much the rest of the light, so you don't have any light leaking in when you're trying to get critical focus. I use the prism with it, and while I do have the left-hand grip, which certainly helps with the prism, I find that you don't need it at all. The camera handles excellently without it, even with a prism on, which I can't say for a camera like the Bronica S2A or Hasselblad 500C. That, I think, also lends itself to the height. Instead of being lengthwise like a TLR, TLRs handle good with a prism, so I think this does too. And that's just why it's an excellent camera. So that's why I love this camera. But I haven't had great luck with them. I found my first kit on Marketplace for $100. It had body, two backs, the lenses I have, the prism, and the left-hand grip. Great. That's the kit I have now. Except for one thing. The body died right as I got it. 5 minutes in, I wound it once, fired it, and it died. It shredded the gears. Now, that's probably on my part. That is most likely a skill issue, because I didn't know how to use it, and I rushed and didn't read the manual. Second time, I got another body, also probably my fault again, because it was untested. So it did what untested cameras do, and it died. Then I got this one, the one I have now. This one, I paid a little bit more, but it was tested and ran through and used recently, about a year ago. It was a secondary body, but it's been performing really excellent for me. It's smooth to use, and I just love being able to finally use this camera, because I was only recently able to actually shoot on them. They died before I could even put a roll through them. In conclusion, I really enjoy these cameras. The glass is superb and is like nothing I've ever used. The handling is my favorite, being taller. If you have big hands, well, this camera is for you. You can cradle it very nicely and focus while cradling, which is something that I don't find with a lot of others. The interchangeable backs are interesting. They are L-shaped. So this is something I didn't talk about earlier, is the film backs are shaped like a TLR. If we take a look here, you can see they look like this. See, unlike another camera where the film loops around, this is in an L, which means if you started on a TLR, this is very familiar to you. You just open the bottom, go from the bottom to the top, meaning it's super quick to load. So that's another pro for me. I love this shape of film back, and that's also why the camera's kind of tall, is because that film back is L-shaped. Now, I also like this camera because of the interchangeability. Everything's pretty quick to change, and there's a lot of it. Now, that's like most medium format systems, so, Now the cons, because there are some. As much as I might talk praise on this system, every system has its cons, and this is certainly one of them. See, they're not exactly reliable, especially the Kowa 6 and MM. They have one major design flaw, and that is, under the winder, there is one tooth. That tooth drives the winder into the wind system. That breaks, your winder's free spinning. And they break a lot. See, one jam pushing it a little too hard is enough to grind out that tooth. And then you're left without a camera, and you have to replace the body. That's what happened in the first, that's what happened in the second, and I'm just hoping it doesn't happen here. And then after that, for the second con, is repairability. Because, well, an unreliable camera needs to be repaired. And unless you're a repairman, and I kind of am, I do camera repair, you need parts for this. And there's only two people I can think of that actually do it. There's Ross Yerkes in California, and I believe Pro Camera in Charlotte. There's also a servicer in Europe, if you are there, and I don't remember their name. They are mentioned in the Analog Insights video on this camera, and they're a good one to look out for because their favorite cameras to work on are the Kowa 6s. And that's kind of it for the cons for me. I think the rest of the camera is pretty perfect to use. So I would highly suggest one. And that's going to be the end.